Glendora, why do you look so happy today? Well, because I'm bringing you a new friend, and her name is Joann Ryan, and she's the president and CEO of Northwestern Connecticut Chamber of Commerce. Joann, how are you today?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you, and I'm very happy that I'm talking with you.
Now tell me, honey, what the history is of the Chamber of Commerce, Northwestern Connecticut.
All right, we are 122 years old, and you're going to love this. I'm the first woman president and CEO of the organization in those 122
Hooray,
years.
hooray, hooray!
So it took a long time to get to this point. I would think all of your listeners will agree, but it's been a wonderful opportunity for me. I've been here 20 years. I'm a former teacher, history high school teacher in both Torrington and Stamford, Connecticut. And then I left to have my beautiful daughters.
Well, honey, what did you teach, dear?
It's history and English.
Oh, really? History and English.
Yeah, I loved it, and I thought I would teach forever, but I left so that I could raise my two beautiful daughters. And but as they were growing older, getting into school, I was offered an opportunity to work with Kelly Services, the employment company.
Yes, Kelly Services.
Kelly Services, and I took that opportunity. My dad said, "Joe, you have to take that. That's going to be wonderful because everybody needs jobs." So sure enough, I did. So I worked with Kelly for 19 years.
No, did you really?
Yes, I was the regional manager for almost half of the state, and it
wow.
was wonderful. And a big occurrence, and that was 9/11. My daughter worked in the building adjacent to the Twin Towers, so it was quite a horrific experience for her family, and all of us. And it was after that I took a deep breath and I said, what do I want to do for the rest of my life, especially where I want to make a difference in people's lives. And at that time, I was working with Kelly, and I was driving through the beautiful Litchfield Hills, and I'm thinking, and then I think I was on the board of the chamber representing Kelly Services. But I heard that the president was leaving, and I thought, maybe this is the time to make that move. So I applied for that position. That was almost 21 years ago.
No, 21 years ago?
Yeah, so I've been in the chamber almost 21 years, as president and CEO.
Wow.
It's been, I know, that's what I say, too. It's been wonderful. It's challenging, and but very, very exciting and very gratifying and thrilling because of the opportunities I've had to meet so many extraordinary people. And one thing that you'll find very interesting is that on one of my travels to one of the New England Chamber meetings, because I felt networking with other chamber presidents was very important, I met a wonderful gentleman, Asian, who was doing travel for the chambers in the United States to China. And he said, "Oh my goodness, you should come to China." And I said, "Well, are you sure?" And he said, "Yes." He said, we do this all the time." Well, I did happen to have a chamber member who had a company. They had a company in Torrington and also a company in Shenzhou, China, which is between Shanghai and Beijing. And he said, why don't we just gather some business people to come to China? And I said, well, that sounds like a brilliant idea. So I did that, and we had 24 companies representing from the area.
Good for you.
And that was the first of 4 trips to China. It was outstanding. The next trip we did, I think we had 40 people, and it was people who were chamber members and not just presidents of the company. So we did that. I've been to Japan. I've been to South Africa. We were in Cuba right after President Obama was there. So the town they had spruced it up a little, and they were still allowing Americans right in Cuba. That was extraordinary. Of course, Europe, but I love Spain. I love Portugal. Oh, Portugal was wonderful. So we did some very, very exciting.
Very
events,
exciting, and
travel,
I'm
and,
so glad you had. I'm so glad you had all those blessings.
Yeah, they were blessings. There's no question.
Now, Joann Ryan, tell us, please, the 21 towns in northwestern Connecticut.
Well, the towns border on Connecticut and Massachusetts, and then go through the region. Now, you might not even know some of these towns, but I actually have a map.
I bet you I can name some of them, honey.
Oh, I bet you can.
I bet you. How about Terryville?
No, that's not one of our 21 towns.
Okay,
No,
Bristol?
No, Bristol is not one of our 21 towns.
Okay, I turn it over to you, dear. Go ahead.
All right. But you're good. Salisbury, North Canaan, Norfolk, Colebrook, Heartland, Barkhamsted, Winchester, Goshen, Cornwall, Sharon, Torrington, which is the largest of the towns, New Hartford, Burlington, Harwinton, Thomaston, Litchfield, Morris, Washington, Warren, and Kent.
Oh, gee.
So it's all beautiful, beautiful towns in a beautiful area. I don't know how many of your listeners have traveled through this region, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Especially in the fall, when the colors are changing. It is, it's almost like someone threw a paintbrush or dabbed paint on the colors of the trees. It's so pretty to drive through.
And Joann Ryan, what has been the biggest accomplishment in the past few years?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. This is a special personal accomplishment.
I meant for the chamber.
Well, yes, it does pertain to the chamber. We are in the northwest corner of Connecticut. It's quieter here. We don't have any major metropolitan cities. And people used to always tell me when we would have our different meetings for our different committees, whether it was healthcare or manufacturing or schools of career and the education, but they would always say, why does everybody forget the northwest corner? And I said, I don't know. I don't think we've spoken up loud enough. Another occurrence was that you can close the Torrington campus, which really, really upset many of us. Although that was a turnaround since then. But the community college then stepped up to the plate even in a larger role because they knew there were opportunities for students to start at Northwestern and then go on to one of the 4 state universities. Well, at that time, they were recreating the whole structure of the Connecticut state colleges and universities, and they were creating a board of trustees and a board of regents, they called them. And I said one day, there's not even a single soul from our region on that board of regents.
Oh.
It doesn't seem fair. So they all kind of chuckled, and sure enough, shortly thereafter, I got a call from the governor's office that he was willing to appoint me to the board of regents.
Now, which governor, sweetheart?
Then it was Governor. We don't remember if it was Governor Rell or Governor Malloy. I'm not sure. I think it might have been Governor Rell. But I am not positive.
Well, good for you.
No, I don't even know. It just has passed so quickly. It might have been Governor Malloy, too. Maybe it was Governor Malloy, because I have not been on the board that long. But the interesting thing was they asked me to be after about a year and a half on that board, they asked me to be vice chair. And I said, oh, sure. Well, what do you do? And they said, you just come to meetings once or twice a month. I said, oh, that's perfect. I'll do it. Well, wouldn't you know, the chair decided his role with his position was so great, he was going to resign. So guess what? I became chair of the Board of Regents.
Wow, wouldn't you know?
So you're right. That's exactly. I pinch myself every day. And I had the opportunity to be on the search committee that found the new president of the whole system, Terrence Chang, who is unbelievable. We are so blessed to have him because he has such foresight and such optimism and strength despite challenges, because it has been so very, very hard during COVID, especially for the community colleges. And then there was a merger, and that created, change creates all kinds of interesting excitement. I call it excitement. It's more like challenge. But so I am chair of that wonderful Board of Regents, and I really think, as I look back, the key is for business and the community and education to work very, very closely together. And since I am a former teacher and did teach at the community colleges as an adjunct faculty member for 10 years, I feel this is probably one of the greatest things that's happened.
Excellent. Hold the line, honey. I have to ask Amy, how many minutes are we in, Amy?
We're at 10 minutes and 44 seconds.
In or left?
We're at 10 minutes and 49 seconds right now.
Okay. Excuse me, Joann, what were you saying?
Oh, I know. I was saying that because that connection within the communities that we serve, but also with the educators, the students, their parents, and the business community is vital to the success of our state, really, and the future of our state. So I think that is one of the most exciting aspects.
Now, what are you hoping for the future, dear Joann?
As far as me personally, or the chamber?
As far as the chamber.
Okay, I'm hoping that we can enlarge our footprint and make people help people realize the opportunities and benefits that they have working with the chamber. We recently moved out of our suite that we had been in for 30 years. And you can imagine moving is very traumatic for everyone. But this was especially traumatic because it's during COVID. But in the meantime, we did find a beautifully historic location in downtown Torrington in the former Torrington Company Excelsior plant. That was the company that employed almost 8,000 people in Torrington in its heyday, and that is extraordinary for this region to have that many employees in one company. But the company since was sold a few times and since moved on out of state. But I think it was a former president bought the complex and is now leasing out space, and that's where we found new space for our offices. So it's right across the street from the new courthouse in Torrington, which covers the region, and there's quite a bit of history here. So I love that we're in an industrial plant, a former industrial plant, where manufacturing is so important to this region as far as jobs. Manufacturing and healthcare, actually, and then the service industry are probably the three greatest areas of employment.
I would think that would be one of your most formidable challenges, is the moving of industry out of the Northeast.
Yes, it is. But I must say, it's so interesting. We're in very close touch with so many of our manufacturers through our coalition and also the healthcare providers, because we have meetings monthly with each of those service groups. They are doing, I don't want to jinx a thing, but they're doing very well. They've had a very, very good year. They were very careful. The way they managed, they were careful about their employees and their customers, and are now, so many of them are looking for employees. In fact, we have a job fair coming up in 2 weeks that was sold out on Friday. It's not until the 22nd of March. But we have a waiting list of employers who want to come into that job fair because they have so many openings. So I think it bodes well for what is happening here. And I'm going to just give you an example because you might be familiar with BD, Becton Dickinson is in Canaan, Connecticut, so it's right on the border. They are the largest producers of syringes in the world. Now, who would have thought that company would exist? Their corporate headquarters, I believe, Princeton, New Jersey, but they're right outside of Princeton. But who would think that would be in Canaan, right along on the border of Connecticut and Massachusetts? And there they are, and they do. I believe they produce 2 million syringes a day.
And what town was that?
That's in Canaan, Connecticut.
Canaan.
Yep, right on the border.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean, they're in our Northwest region. In fact, they have a lovely plant in China, and I was there in that plant. And,
yes.
I went into their plant in China, so it was amazing.
Very good. I think I know where that is. That's right where Route 7 comes in.
Yes, it is. It is right where Route 7.
And why they have all those railroad cars in Canaan?
I think because the train, they every day. I think they ship out so many products from their plant, and they don't do it by trucking. They use the train.
Oh yeah.
I know I travel a lot by train because my daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughters live in Charlottesville, Virginia, so I take Amtrak from Bridgeport, Connecticut, right to Charlottesville. And the only delays we have are usually freight trains that have precedence to the passenger train. Especially when we're leaving from Charlottesville.
Yeah.
And I know we're delayed sometimes, and it's because there's a freight train that's ahead of us, coming in ahead of us, so we have to wait. Let them have their opportunity or get them ahead of us because they have to do a shipment. So train is, I really love the train. I love Amtrak.
Now, exciting. Anything else exciting that excites you that has happened recently?
Well, we have our annual meeting coming up, and we honor individuals who've done amazing things for us as volunteers. I mean, one is a senior vice president and head of operations for a community bank, and the other is a former teacher, but left teaching and is a representative for Primerica, and she's the other volunteer. She helps with every activity and initiative that we have. But it's so interesting. One of our longtime, she was here 13 years, lovely, outstanding staff member, left because her daughter was a year and a half old, and she was pregnant with her second child, and decided that she really needed to stay home to be with her children. I thought, oh my goodness, how are we going to replace her? Because she was in charge of programs and events. Well, sure enough, a call came in from one of our former members who was working out of the area, but who felt she wanted to come back to the area. And sure enough, we hired her. She's been here 2 weeks. Because she was so active with the chamber as a member years ago, she just has stepped right up to the plate and knows exactly what has to be done, how it has to be done. So that has really helped us, and that's helping us grow. We also work closely with the Workforce Investment Board.
Oh, hold it, honey. I have a question.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
What can the public do for the chamber?
Well, the public should be aware of the benefits and the value of a chamber of commerce. And actually, what we love, we even have a category for individuals to become members so that they can meet companies, meet other employees, employers, make friends with everybody. And
okay.
Really, the value of the community is to become engaged and support some of the initiatives of the chamber. I mean, here's a perfect example. Through the credit unions of Connecticut, we became aware of a program they called the Financial Reality Fair, which was a program that they created knowing that young people really needed to know how to budget your money, how to spend your money, where to spend it, how to save, all those facets of your financial personal life. Well, they decided to do it for high school students. They came to the chamber and said, will you help us? And of course, we loved that idea. So we started that with them, probably 8 years ago. Of course, we couldn't do it during COVID, but we're starting it up. It's going to be again, I think the end of March. So needless to say, we have lots to do. But they were so impressed with that. Some of the school systems are now incorporating financial education into their curriculum for the high school students.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. Amy, is everything going okay with the camera?
Yep.
And how many minutes are we?
We're at 19 minutes and 44 seconds.
That Amy sounds really nice.
Yes, I am.
Now, Joann, is there anything that you want to leave us with?
Well, I want to thank you, first of all. Where are you physically located right now? Where are you?
Well, we are headquartered in the Albany, New York area. However, our program goes all over the United States, all the way from Boston to San Diego, Chicago, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco.
Oh, my.
Yeah, Philadelphia, Atlanta. And we are going to get the people in Torrington
and the thing is, throughout the whole United States, every community has a chamber. And we all are really distinct and unique based on the community and
Good
the
point.
leadership. But there is a chamber everywhere. Now, are you near Kinderhook, or am I way off?
Say that again, please.
She wants to know if we're near Kinderhook.
Kinderhook.
Yes, am I near Kinderhook?
No, it's a beautiful little community in New York.
Oh, I know that. I live there, honey. It's a lovely community. That's where our 8th president, Van Buren, lived.
Oh, because my nephew and his wife and their beautiful children live in Kinderhook.
They do?
Yeah, they do.
Right off of Route 9?
Yeah. I've not been to their house. They moved probably a year ago.
Yeah.
To this location.
Yeah.
But my sister, who lives in Simsbury, Connecticut, and my brother-in-law go up very regularly to see their beautiful grandchildren. So, I'm very
Yes.
familiar.
So let me repeat that Kinderhook is famous for being the home of Martin Van Buren, the 8th president of the United States. And you want to know an interesting thing? When he was governor of the state of New York, and he would be home working, they would send him papers to sign, and he would write Old Kinderhook, and he would abbreviate OK. And that's where we get the American expression, okay.
Now, that's so interesting. I didn't know that. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Now,
How did you ever reach out to me? What made you call me?
Because I want to do a program for Torrington, Connecticut on my public access show. And I want to hand this program into Doug Heron.
Okay.
Do you know Doug?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And
yes,
so
I do know Doug. He's wonderful. And you would love Torrington. The mayor is outstanding, doing a wonderful job.
And I have a hole in my network. I have a hole in Torrington, and I want to fill it up. And that's why I wanted to do a program on Torrington. And now I get the whole Northwest Connecticut. That's great.
Right. But I must say, downtown Torrington has come alive. It's beautiful. There's been some renovation. Young people are coming back to the area and staying here. We worry that they.
That's what you need.
We need. That's right, because we worry that they're moving to the exciting cities of New York and Boston and we want them to stay in this area because we need them for the future well-being and success.
Yes, we certainly do. Amy, how many minutes, dear?
23 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yes. And this will be on the LT's public access, dear.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you get any other ideas for programs for Torrington, we can put them on public access for you.
Well, I want to name a few. I mentioned the UConn had closed their Torrington campus. Well, a very brilliant woman named Judy McElhone decided that her Five Points Art Gallery that was in downtown Torrington needed a gallery and a larger space. So her beautiful gallery is still downtown, but she, in her brilliant wisdom, did purchase that UConn campus, former UConn Torrington campus, and now it's called 5 Points Center for the Arts. It is truly incredible. She's doing amazing things, teaching, possible shows there. It's just outstanding. So that's 5 Points Center for the Arts. And then, and I had the honor and privilege of being one of the founders. We created.
Oh, nice. Nice, congratulations.
Well, that's Judy. She's a gem. But then I became part of Kids Play Children's Museum. We had nothing like that anywhere in Northwest Corner. And a brilliant leader of O&G Industries came up with the idea. And he and another friend, an attorney, and I worked with a group of people to create this phenomenal Kids Play Children's Museum that is extraordinary. So we have that in downtown Torrington. We also have the Warner Theater that is a beautiful Art Deco theater that is expanding as we speak. Just opened up a Warner Club for social activities for small group meetings. But we also have Nutmeg Conservatory, founded by Sharon Dante, but Victoria Mazzarelli was one of the only students from the United States ever to get a gold medal in dancing in Europe, and she is now the exec of that organization. So I don't want to be omitting anybody, but there's some amazing things happening in our region in downtown Torrington. We have the only Tort Museum in the world, we think, that was created by Ralph Nader. And we also have the largest mural of its size in the world. It's called the American Mural Project, created by Ellen Griesdick she's from Sharon. Her husband was a former race car driver with Paul Newman. And Ellen herself was the artist who created Paul Newman's labels for his food products.
Oh, wow.
And that, it'd be worth your while to take a trip to the American Mural Project in Winston, Connecticut. It is extraordinary. It's an old mill that where it's now 4 stories high, I think 144 feet wide. It is a tribute to the American worker.
Of course it is. Hold it, honey. What's the time?
27 minutes and 7 seconds.
Well, this is great, and you are a credit to your chamber and to your Northwest Connecticut, the way you love it and the way you expose it. You've got about 30 seconds to say your last 50 words.
Okay, well, I just want to say thank you so very, very much for discovering me and reaching out to me. This has been a pleasure to talk to you, and I always love it when I have the opportunity to share the knowledge that I have gained and the privilege of serving as the president and CEO of the Northwest Connecticut Chamber of Commerce.
Good.
That is located in Torrington, Connecticut.
Good words. Now, this will be on the YouTube probably in the next hour and a half.
Okay.
It'll be on YouTube, and then we share it with Facebook and Twitter.
Okay.
And then after that, it goes to the TV stations with top priority to Doug Heron in Torrington.
Oh, he's wonderful. I've known him for quite a long time. So he's wonderful. That's
okay. Okay.
And thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate talking with you.
Amy, do you have a joke, a last joke for us?
Yeah, you can do violinist.
What, dear?
Violinist?
Oh, yeah. A man down on 57th Street in Manhattan asked a passerby, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And the violinist said, practice, man, practice. Practice. That's how that's how you get to Carnegie Hall. Well, listen,
right.
Joann, say goodbye to Amy.
Amy, thank you for helping us, and nice talking with you as well.
And
You're welcome.
We all thank God for the wonderful world. Take care, dear.
Yes. Thank you, and you too, and you take care.
Bye-bye, sweet.
Bye-bye.